Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and we got the OG cast back in this episode for our October extravaganza.
Spooky Month!
Yeah. gang up in this. We all here.
We're starting off strong on this one.
It's spooky month. So that's
I love it.
Oh man.
Can we just get like for Spooky Month, can we get one of the audio buttons to have like a nice like string crescendo?
You know,
Yeah.
actually,
Wait,
I was thinking
hold on.
a button to have just the intro of spooky, scary skeletons, and that's it. Spooky, scary. It cuts off. That was very high pitched. That was very loud.
That's one that came preloaded. Anyways,
That was more crime junkie-esque.
It just is labeled scary. Sorry, guys. I'm trying.
He gets the point across.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay,
man.
so we watched The Shining.
It was neat. So nobody warned me before we move into this. If you haven't seen it yet, first off, spoilers. Second, there's titty in this movie. Nobody
yes.
warned me of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I was ill prepared. Whenever the camera pans up,
There's
and I was
almost
like, I've been accosted.
Full-on vagina almost, which is like
There was definitely full on of that
Yeah,
too.
no.
But I was just like, I was accosted. I was like,
Dude, I hated that scene so much.
all the scenes, I was like uncomfortable. I was like, why do they have so many naked pics of her? Oh, why is this chick naked? No, stay in the bath, please.
80s. You can do whatever you want.
Stay in the bath, please, ma'am. I was like, no. I was accosted. I didn't like it.
Anyway, so Dylan has told me that this is his second time watching this movie.
Yes.
Oh,
And
really?
this is both Ethan and I's first time watching this. I only went into this movie knowing the scene where she's freaking out and panicking, and he's smashing down the door, and he's like, "Here's Johnny."
Right.
I didn't realize it until I watched the scenes, but I've seen clips and scenes of Jack lumbering around screaming Danny with the axe with blood on it.
Oh, right.
So I've seen like clips of that, and I also knew about him writing red rum on the door, but I didn't know that was this movie. I thought it was a different movie. So whenever it happened, I was like, oh, that's this movie.
Well,
so that was
that
was interesting.
The only scene that I knew was the "Here's Johnny" thing, and it says, according to IMDb, Nicholson, who's the actor of Jack,
he misquoted a line, didn't he?
no, he did ad-lib it, but he borrowed the line from somewhere else. Nicholson ad-libbed the line, "Here's Johnny," in imitation of the announcer Ed McMahon. I don't know. He's a famous Ed McMahon, I guess. I don't know. It says it's a famous introduction of Johnny Carson on the USA Network, NBC TV's long-running late-night television program, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson.
Wow.
Well,
So,
okay, so here's the thing.
He ad-libbed it.
All
but
that was
again,
too 1980s for me, young boy
Right,
energy.
right.
I didn't catch that.
Young boy.
I just thought he said the wrong name. And I was like, isn't his name Jack? So you guys can...
That's another funny thing. Both Jack Nicholson and I can't remember, Danny Lloyd, the young boy that plays Danny.
Yeah.
Both of their characters and actors share names.
That's
right.
horrific. Why'd they do that to those kids?
I don't know.
No idea.
Why'd they
That's
do that to those two?
terrifying.
Right, exactly.
If we can, let's go ahead and tiptoe into another little fact. I want to
Go for it.
go ahead with Daniel Lloyd, who is the character that, or the person that plays Danny the boy, is an American farmer and high school teacher and former child actor. So now he is he's gone on to do similar things with his life.
I mean,
It ain't much, but
He
it's
was-
honest
it's
work.
an honest work.
he was scarred at a young age.
Essentially, yeah.
Had
So-
to get some normalcy in his life.
Right, yeah.
Right, exactly.
So I said this at the beginning, and then it turned out that most of them were. But I have my first note written was, why does everyone look absolutely nuts in this town?
Yes.
Because the guy, Ulfric or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Ullman.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. He
Ulfric.
Yeah, so I was like, everyone's going to know that because it's Ull, but
Yeah.
he looks like a nutcase. We
Yeah.
find out that Jack is a nutcase.
Right.
His son looks like a kid. That's fine.
Mostly.
Yeah. Jack's wife looks kind of crazy. And then, like, we get into the city, and, like, all the people in the hotel, I'm like, why do they all look crazy? Except for the one guy, Dick something. Dick looks like a normal guy.
Halloran.
Yeah,
Halloran,
Dick
yeah.
Halloran looks like a normal guy. Looks like just like a chef.
Oh man! And
Like-
you want to hear little facts about our guy Halloran?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he was
Good old
he
Dick.
was my favorite character.
He was the best.
He was the
character.
best character, and apparently, this is crazy.
I thought he was going to kill the boy, though, early on.
His name is Benjamin Sherman Crothers.
The third.
And he is professionally known as Scatman Crothers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because
that's right. His credit was at the beginning of the movie.
Because he was
wondering who Scatman was.
He was an American actor and musician. He's known for he is known for playing Louis the Garbage Man on the TV show Chico and the Man Chico and the Man is what it's called.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And also, again, he's also very well known for playing Dick Halloran.
I like how in both of the things he plays that he's well known for, he plays just some guy with a job.
Right.
He's the chef. He's the garbage man. He just plays his role well, though.
Right. The sad thing is, though, I don't quite know all of the.
He dies.
Yeah, he has passed away.
Oh,
but the crazy thing,
I meant his character died.
Well, I mean, yes, that happens too. But The Shining came out in 1980, and he passed away in 1986.
He did look like an older gentleman.
Yeah, so that's just crazy to think about.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But
so my next note is he mentions like my boy found the game room. Whenever we go to Danny in the game room, he's throwing darts at the freaking dartboard, and my first thought was, who gave this kid darts? Like, how did he get that? And then he like throws the last dart and like goes to pick him up and then looks at something and it just zooms all the way out on his face, right? So whenever it zoomed all the way, this is what got me started on doing this, by the way. Whenever it zoomed on his face, all I could think of was the Goku Ultra Instinct theme. It zoomed in, I was, ding! That's why I started. So then, in every scene that I thought was amusing, I just played the opening notes to the Ultra Instinct. Because
wow.
So I was like, well, it like zoomed, like it went from...
It was a snap zoom.
It went from like lots of headroom and foot room, full body shot with some room, to all the way in face full screen, just right in his face. And it was like...
It was really jarring.
It was jarring. So all I could think of was like him about to like just wild out and like throw a dart at someone or something. Oh, man.
That's crazy.
In case anyone hasn't seen this, it is about a man.
Oh yeah, murder.
Can you even actually tell me what it's about?
Actually, I want to hear this. Because I think I kind of know what it's about. But
it's about a ex-school teacher turned writer who decides to take on a contract to spend 5 months taking care of a hotel while it's closed for the winter.
Because it's the hotels in the mountains and it snows too much.
So you think?
Right.
So he's house sitting for a whole ass hotel.
Yes, it's a nice secluded area, like up at the foot of a mountain. Or on a mountain.
It's real snowy.
Yes. And
good murder territory.
Initially, he does this to get some peace and quiet so that he can focus on writing. Of course, he brings his wife and son along.
And he hates them, apparently.
At least his wife, yeah.
Right. He's got some issues.
Yeah.
That only bubbled to the surface as the stay is prolonged more and more.
In the words, like one of the first lines of the movie, I believe they call it cabin fever.
Yeah.
That kicks in.
A prime example.
Yeah, so for me, like, I noticed that part, but I really just thought it was about a haunted hotel. Which, technically is what it's about. It's about a haunted hotel. He gets there, and the guy's like, by the way, the last guy who was here, and I didn't really notice this until the end of the movie. He was like, he killed his 2 daughters and his wife with an axe, and then he shot himself in the head with a shotgun because he had cabin fever. And the guy's like, that's all I need is peace and quiet.
Right.
And then he starts seeing like apparitions and ghosts and stuff in the hotel. And then by the end of the movie, you realize that all the apparitions and ghosts he saw were people who had been murdered in the hotel. That's like the end of it. Is like you realize everyone who's murdered in the hotel is now part of the hotel and stays there forever, as those 2 little girls say. Though I still want to know what's up with the furry and the guy in the suit.
The twins were easily one of the most.
That was good. That was good. I thought they were in the movie more than they actually were, though. But they were still they were well placed. I think
the encounters are sparse, but just as impactful.
Yeah, they hit just as much as you should. Yeah.
I was following along with the premise of the movie, I will say, and it is very, very good at what it does with the sound and music.
The music is what sells it for
yes.
me.
I found a little bit of it whiny. little high pitched and whine, like you know, like they have like the whiny scary noise,
right? Yeah.
But theirs was like really loud,
of course.
and this one particularly.
But what I'm saying is like you can. If you were to watch The Shining and strip a lot of the music away, it would make the movie feel very different.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like very unsettling sound and music that happens underneath scenes that seem normal. That make it really weird.
Very early on, I mentioned this to Dylan. It was like the second scene of the movie, I believe. It goes from him talking for the interview to Danny talking with his finger, Tony, in the which I need to have more. I have questions about Tony.
For real.
Talking to his finger, Tony, in the mirror, and like as soon as it goes to him talking in the mirror, brushing his teeth, scary music starts playing, and I was like, "Well, we can't start this crap so early, man. Why is there scary music playing?" And I think that I will admit that did go well. That like every time something even moderately weird is going to happen, like, the music cues in, and you're like, "Oh, you're already on edge." It Pavlov's you. I hate it.
Even whenever like you see the woman that's naked in the bathtub, you already, because of what you've seen in the movie already, you're like, okay, this is probably some sort of ghost or apparition or whatever. This is not okay or normal. Right. But the thing is, it's a naked woman, and it's not like she's disgusting. I mean, she looks wonderful. I mean, so she's getting out of the bathtub, and then it's like, but all the time while this is going on, you kind of know in the back of your mind what this actually is, but then the eerie sounds underneath it really go like, I don't feel comfortable here, even though
Nope, you should not. You are in a hotel alone, and there's a random person here. No.
But it also doesn't make any... That our guy Jack is sitting over here, like, smiling all creepily, and it's like, okay, this is getting real weird.
I think that's
not even, like, put off.
Not even... No, he smiles, and then he keeps his drunk, terrifying, creepy face.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is that's because Jack is what we call a sociopath.
But yeah, it makes the whole scene feel very uncomfortable all up until the actual reveal that it's the dead body of the wife, and you're like, oh, shit.
Which was, by the way, I knew that scene was going to go south.
Right, of course.
And I love it whenever I get a plot twist.
Right.
And so I knew that scene was going to go south, and I was like, she's going to try and kill him or something like that. Yeah. But the way it went south with her being a rotting old woman's body
and was laughing hysterically.
Yeah, like in the design, like the VFX, not the VFX, the practical effects,
the makeup
were so well done on her looking gross and rotting. Yes. I was like, wow, you got me with that one. Like, good job.
She looks nasty.
Of all the rounds of this movie that I saw coming, and I was ready for, that one, you got me. Left hook. Didn't even see it coming.
It's not something I would want to see shambling towards me.
It's not something I would want to see. That's a full stop.
Especially, it's one thing, even if it's just shambling towards you, but then cackling and laughing hysterically, you're like, nah, I'm good.
Well, I think the thing is, if it's cackling, I hate it. If it's shambling towards me, I hate it. The fact that it's doing both at the same time is just exponential growth. I hate it. Of course, So my thing is, though, briefly we talk about people being able to have the shining, right, where they can communicate with their minds.
Yeah, that was a nice little talk that Dick had with Danny.
It is utilized in the movie. It isn't just left there, though it's utilized kind of sparingly. But after that brief line, like, I feel like that it was interesting. Like, and we never got closure on what that has to do with who this Tony demon that is inside of old boy is, and why he just randomly snapped out of being in Tony mode. You know, mode. Like he like saw enough hood rat shit that he was like, you know what, this is awful. I'm now like the demon's taking over, and he would only say red rum, and then like refer to his mom as Miss whatever their last name is, and talk through his stupid ass finger. Yeah. Right? But then randomly, whenever crap hits the fan, he's just back to being a boy again. I feel like we had no closure on Tony.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like a manifestation of the shining that Danny has.
Oh yeah, but Tony freaked you and your manifestation.
But in the moment where Halloran and Danny are talking, though, he definitely every so often he was talking about like, well, does he tell you to do stuff? Because, you know, so he seemed like he was concerned.
Yeah.
Like, this is something a little, like I have the shining, you have the shining, but you have a little extra something. You have a little extra bag.
About yours.
You got a little extra baggage with you. Right. That's what it feels like.
I feel like your dad being a crippling alcoholic and breaking your arm at a young age might have caused problems.
Right. I do like the effect of how they did that, where they can like communicate telepathically almost. Mm-hmm. Scary, but interesting.
Yeah. That first communication made me really think that Dick was gonna kill him. I was like, Dick's gonna poison his ice cream. Oh my god, man. Right. So
crazy.
Yeah, it was just a roller coaster. It was a lot of screaming.
I feel so bad for Wendy.
I liked Wendy's character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really had a disdain for Wendy's character, if that makes sense. Where I was just like,
I get what you mean.
It's like there's so much that you can do, but also like you're too scared to just hit him. Like you already know he's going downhill. Just knock him out with the bat. And she finally does. But I'm just like come on, get with it, girl. You're a strong, independent woman, even though it's 1980, and you're not supposed to feel that way yet. Apparently, like
it definitely has the woman in a horror movie vibe where it's like she's not.
That's maybe it's not a disdain. Maybe it's just a disappointment. Like you're better than that, Wendy.
Right, exactly. But it definitely I felt so bad because I was
specifically
like,
a woman in a 1980s horror movie for sure.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
I think that's where that really catches it.
Loyal to her husband, even up until
he's being just murdering him,
literally bashing the door down with an axe. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, like, get out.
She came close, but she's not going to be up there with like Ripley or fucking.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think anybody else can top Ripley.
The thing with I can't put Ripley on a list of strong, independent women characters, and the reason why is because Ripley had horrific plot armor, and I did not like Alien. That's the reason why I can't put Ripley because it's silly. Right? In case you haven't seen our episode on the movie Alien, I was not a big fan because Ripley, for two reasons. Ripley had plot armor, and they kept saying we should stick together and not break up, and then break up and someone died. So I did not like Alien.
Anyways.
It was too textbook. Moving on.
Thankfully, they get away with that in this movie.
Yes. Yeah.
See exactly how it's done appropriately.
The hotel is also very beautiful.
Oh yeah,
it is a very nice place, even though it looks very 1980s and old by our standards.
And I think it's gross now.
It definitely looks not that great. I loved the gold ballroom. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a cool idea, but I also this is where
the carpet.
This is 100%. I will
the carpet in that ballroom sucked.
Double down on that. I will say that for me is where the movie got confusing.
Oh yeah.
Yes. This is where, and I'm saying confusing because again I know how my mind works. And I'm starting to tiptoe into the area of like, but what does this all really mean? You know what I'm saying? Whenever he goes in there and he like got all frustrated and I think he got out of the pantry or whatever and he goes there the first time wanting a drink. Mm-hmm. And he sits down and
I'd do anything for a goddamn drink.
Exactly.
Sell my soul.
Yeah, and so he's sitting there. And then, of course, the bartender's just there, and he's like, how's it going?
All right, cool.
And so it's like, I think, from an outside perspective, that him there with that bartender and that drink that he was having was not actually real.
He's just sitting there talking to himself.
Yes. I think he was sitting there talking to some kind of spirit or ghost, and he pretended to have a drink, and he may have been like, ooh, I feel something. But again, no, he didn't.
On the outside, it might have just been that.
In all reality, like without him seeing all the ghosts, it might not have been a glass or a drink. Or he might have, because we've seen that these ghosts can interact, so a ghost might have poured him a drink.
Right. Maybe.
But I think for me, what I saw...
But I could have sworn that he went there to the bar, and it was empty. But then, of course,
it was empty when he first got there, and then whenever he opened his eyes, it all lit up, and that was all ghost shit he was seeing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And
it's less like a spirit.
Actually, you're right. It is fake
like
because
straight up a
whenever the movie, in the early in the movie, the guy mentioned something about the alcohol not being there, and he says that's good. I don't drink anymore.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So in that case, the drink isn't real. So yeah.
Well, so that's where I started getting. Mm-hmm. This is where like the fine line of like, okay, so he is insane, I think. But how far of this is insane and how far of this is spiritual activity?
Yeah.
It's a mixture of the two.
Oh, exactly, yeah. That's hard.
I just thought that he was just seeing a whole bunch of shit. Like, I didn't think that he was necessarily... None of these were ghosts, right?
Right.
Until toward the end of the movie when it starts connecting. And then, of course, at the end of the movie, you can see that all those people were people who've been murdered in the hotel.
Right.
At least that's what it leads you to believe. Which means that, all those people were ghosts. Which, by the way, I think is like... As far as endings go, right, we've got the kind of textbook happy ending, though a cool character dies, I'll give them that. As far as endings go, I will say I do like it because it gives you not some closure, but like right where you want it closure and leaves a nice bow on like the ghosts. Right. I think it does a really good job of that at least, though I will admit the him frozen meme picture, I did not expect to see that at the end of this movie. So I think the ending was especially as far as like horror movies go, where like it's all what happens to the killer. Like I kind of like that he just freaking froze to death. Like I like that of all the ways to go. Like I don't know. I thought it was a really good ending.
Yeah,
actually,
it's
really
very interesting. But to backpedal just a little bit, whenever he goes back in there for like the second time, I forgot what caused him to go back there, but he's like, he rounds the corner, and as it passes through, it's like a bustling 1920s.
Yeah, like a full-on like
bar
July
setting.
4th ball.
And then
that's a whole everyone's like wearing their freaking ball.
Exactly, and so then he walks up there and sits down, and of course, him and Lloyd already have a which I also like the Lloyd character. I thought he was a very interesting bartender character.
His character was well played.
Yeah. They had this whole interaction where they're like talking for a bit. It's like, oh yeah, from the higher ups or whatever, like they are paying your
drinks
tab
on the house.
Yeah, but
when he said your money's no good here, that was everything clicked for me as far as ghosts go. Like right when he said that line, somehow it all clicked to me. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And the thing that really capitalizes on that line, I feel, was what he said right after, which was, not as of yet, at least.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, but of course, in like the next scene when they're in the bathroom and they're like talking to each other about like you've been here the whole time, and I was like, what does he mean? Now at the end of the movie, I can see the whole time means that once he died, he just joins. I guess what is this, like a purgatory, like an endless party that they're doing there?
The mass.
And so you've always been here as like the first day he came here. He's now always, which is horrifying. But thinking back on it, that makes sense. But at first I was like, what does it mean?
Exactly. So that's what I'm still getting confused, because the words that he used whenever, is it Dilbert?
Dilbert, yeah, that's his name.
I think so.
We called him Jeevesy for a while, but I think they call him Dilbert something.
Yeah, Dilbert Grady. So whenever he was talking to Grady, there was a point where he was like, "You were the caretaker of this place," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then of course he really hammers down as like,
I saw your picture in the newspaper.
You killed your daughters, you killed your wife, and then you shot you blew your head off. And then he's like, and then he never, this is where it gets kind of crazy, or for me at least, he never says, yes, that was me, but he stops denying it. And then he's like, you were the caretaker. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because you're the caretaker. Well, and then that's what he says.
There's a big emphasis here, because he said you were the caretaker here, and then he says, I don't know what you're talking about. You are the caretaker.
Yes,
and the emphasis on "are" was like, oh, so this guy, and that's kind of. Yeah.
But this is where I get crazy. This is where I start to analyze a little too deep.
Ian goes fucking nuts.
This is where Ian turns into a madman
because he says you are the caretaker and you always have been. And it's like, well, what is
at
what
first
does that mean?
line? Yeah, first that line
predestined to die here.
Exactly. That's what gets me confused.
The first time I saw the picture, before I thought about it a little bit more, I was like, so wait, was he always here? And he's now a ghost who had kids and came back?
So that's where I get confused as like, so this is where I get kind of confused, is at what, like, where are we? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if he's saying you always have been, like all this kind of stuff, it's like, I understand that this is probably like it's in the same physical plane, but it's just like experiencing a different life or whatever. But it's like, but if he's in the bathroom at the hotel, in the real world, is he just like conked out on the bar having a dream, or is he actually standing there having this like physical manifestation? You know what I'm saying?
I was led to believe it was the second one. That everything he sees is actually there, and he actually goes to the bathroom, is like talking to a ghost, and is like feeling it all, but like there's no ghost there.
As the movie progresses, I think I believe that too, because the wife started seeing stuff.
And she saw the guy who,
not to mention,
that was the random ass guy. First off, the freaking furry scene, but also the guy was Dilbert.
Yeah, exactly.
And she saw him, and she saw the injury on his head from whenever he blew his head off.
Right.
So that was cool as well.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah.
The moment this went from hallucinations to straight up poltergeist was when he was locked in the storeroom after Wendy conked him out for a bit. And Dilbert comes up to the door to reaffirm the deal they made.
Yeah. Satan is like, so we still good, fam?
Yeah.
You gave me your soul, and I'm here to make good on that.
Right. And he straight up just unlocks the door.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't recall. Was he out there after he unlocked the door? There was no ghost out there.
No, they
never
cut
showed
away.
him.
You hear the door unlock, and then it cuts.
Okay, because I didn't know if he opened the door and then saw anything there. But okay.
We don't see.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's
I just
crazy,
just don't.
dude.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
I think because as far as like horror movies go, like I can't. I can't give it like the same rank as I would give Carpenter's The Thing. I don't think I can.
I mean, it's
but in all honesty, it is. But I'm just saying,
Right.
like, as far as just like in general,
Yeah.
I don't think I can give it the same rank as I give The Thing because it just that did such a good job of almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a damn good horror movie. I'm not a fan of horror movies, so like I gotta say that it's like a solid 9 out of 10. Like I like.
It definitely makes me think. It makes me think a lot because I'm like, oh man, I don't even know where to.
Right? Yeah.
I can.
What if I go to a ghost tell? Oh no.
Don't. I'm gonna hook you up with all the horror goodies you can watch.
Yeah, it's October, so there's more to come. Don't
Spooky
worry.
month.
Oh, yes.
I can
time.
definitely see why this movie is probably one for people to like really dig into.
Oh yeah.
And like analyze because I can tell there's so many things. I
could also see
noticed the entire movie that they emphasized mirrors in different ways.
Yeah.
And I was really looking for some sort of payoff, and I think we sort of did with the whole murder situation, but I think I was thinking of almost some parallel universe nonsense where I was like thinking of some sort of like upside down hotel that they're like half experiencing, half not kind of thing where like that was what
Hotel Transylvania.
Well, like that's what it felt like. Whenever
you're right. Until
we're going
you mention it, like it does kind of feel like
he's walking in some kind of 1920s, big room with people, and it's like that is not there. So where is he? Is he just there by himself? Like, howdy, Jim. How's it going? You're like, there's no one there, guy.
I believe the correct location is hell.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for the most part, they were just using it for like clever camera tricks.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's all. But again, it was like one of those things where they did it just enough where I was like, is this gonna? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you saying?
I had like something I was saying. I forgot.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
About spooky time. I don't remember.
About spooky time.
About the movie. Oh, I was saying. I remember why this movie is so like. Everyone says like if you're gonna watch any horror movie, even if you don't like them, you have to watch The Shining because as far as horror movies go, it's really like not that scary. Like it's unsettling at times and it's disturbing, but it does a good job of being unsettling, disturbing, and scary with minimal jump scares. And I don't think jump scares are good because I'm easily startled, but not easily scared.
Yes.
It's like I'll jump and shout, but like I didn't find it scary. I didn't find it good, right? And so like that's why I liked The Thing because even though it had some jump scares in it, it was just deeply unsettling.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like I was actually scared of the idea of that, right? It was a good horror movie. And with this one, I feel the same thing where like at no point did something pop out and try to scare me, but the whole time I was like, oh man, something's gonna happen, even if nothing happened. And I think it does a good job of suspense.
I obviously think that the iconic scene where he is like axing the door and stuff is terrifying, obviously.
Yeah, but in its own right, but there's no jump scare.
But but what I'm saying is like I've already seen that before, and so that it impacted me today, and it was like, oh, that's kind of still terrifying. Right. But what was a little bit more for me today that like made it actually kind of terrifying was the scene where she's going through all of his notes, and they all say the same thing. Yeah.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
I've heard that line before and didn't know what it meant. So one thing, again, about my disappointment in Wendy is that she just kept going through the one page at a time. I'm just like, come on.
Like after page 3, I'd be done.
After page 3, I just grab the middle of the stack and just see, because I can just assume.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, I grab
Fuck this.
Grab the middle of the stack, and if it still says that in the middle, I'm just going to guess that the rest of the pages I picked up are I'm going to give up.
Now I know.
Right. But I mean, I also don't blame her because again, even if like you were to flip through some of them just to find like one that may say something different, it's kind of terrifying to just go through his entire stack of papers, and it's like,
how far did he even fucking go?
Yeah, it's like you've been working on this for months, and it just says the same thing. It's like, what is going on here? Yeah. But the terrifying thing is whenever he like rounds the corner, he's like, "How do you like it?" She screams, and it's like I think that what's her name? I think that she did a.
Wendy.
Shelley Duvall.
Oh, okay.
She did a great job with being being very terrified. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely distraught. Oh, man. Swinging a bat because she doesn't know what else to do.
But even in that scenario, like I was saying, where she is like he's like talking to her and getting mad and like what seems like for no reason basically. And she's like just swinging the bat and it's like terrified. It's like it was so scary because it's like this is the person that like if you think about it in the context, for me at least, this is like your husband. This is someone you married. So potentially like you have a child with this person that is like, 7, 8 years old maybe. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have been with this person for a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah.
So then to have this person like snap like this and like be like really terrifying, it's like I trust you I love you, honestly, but like now I don't know who you are. It's like, oh,
I'm
man.
not going to abandon rationale.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, so you're just like, you don't want to hurt them, but you're just like, get away from me swinging this. And it just, it was very...
Both of you are very wholesome.
It scared me.
I would hit him with a bat.
She did.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I like her.
Yeah, she did. It just took her some time, and I don't blame her.
I had to work up to it.
I didn't say that it should not have taken her time. Right. I'm just saying, like I said, there's a lot of that like kind of 80s movie character.
With yourself in this position, you'd have done it way sooner.
Maybe not way sooner, but like by the staircase, I would have been like, if you don't back up, we'll hit you with this damn bat, bro. Because I think that I can knock him out of the bat without killing him, all right? But then I will say that she had a little bit more gusto than I would have by just going straight to drag him, to lock him in the pants.
Yeah.
I was going to go back to my room and like lock myself in my room or something.
Nah, dude.
But she's like, gotta dispose of the body now. So like her dedication's a little bit bigger than mine there. Where she's like, I'll just lock him in there to die. That's fine. Like, jeez.
He won't die. He's got enough food. He's fine.
Exactly. No, there's no water in there. Nah, who cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, I'm just like, she's like swinging the bat and I'm like, come on, just hit him. At this point, the way he's talking about how he's going to crush your skull in and eat your brains or whatever. There comes a point when you threaten to kill me that I'm like, I'm going to hit you with a bat. All right?
I'm out.
I got a bat and you don't. Before you can make good on that promise.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, like that was a good scene though. It was like dramatic and she's like screaming and she did a good job of like, at first I was like, oof, she's being a little bit like hysterical, but then again, like
she sells it.
High, but I was like, then again, high stress, she's snapping too. Mm-hmm. But then as he keeps going, she doesn't get any more hysterical because she sells the fact that she's at her breaking point and can't get any more dramatic than she is.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, oof, she's being a lot. But I was like, in context, that's okay.
Also,
but because she stayed there, I was like, oh no, she broke, and she did. She sold that
also,
really well.
even still, just to kind of help her out in that case is the fact that like her son is also like, I think at that point in time was like, Danny's gone. It's only Tony now.
He's like and conked out. Yeah,
and so you're just like at that point. You know,
she has nothing left. Yeah,
your son is basically
the last sane person she knows.
From if I was in that perspective, it's like, okay, so my son is now
Tony.
What is it? He's possessed by a demon, and my husband is
trying to murder me. He's actively saying he's going to not hurt me, but crush my brains in, which is hurting me.
Bash your skull in.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait. What? And so I don't blame her for being like,
okay.
I was like, at first, whenever he like turns around, she's like freaking out. I was like, try and be calm. But I was like, no, she snapped.
Yeah. There's no way.
I was like, that's okay. And then he keeps talking, and I was like, yeah, no, I'd probably be that hysterical too. Actually, no, I'll give her that. And like, she just sells staying at this like it can't get any worse for her, and she sells that like she does very good at acting that. I think.
Yeah.
Acting the limits.
Yeah, that was a good ass scene.
That's crazy.
And then she knocks him out with a bat. I loved that. That was great. I just like how she didn't want to hit him, and then he reached for the bat, and then she like bonked
his hand.
She like bonked his hand. He said, "Ow!" And it was like a moment where she's like, "Well, I'm committed now," and then just knocked his ass out.
Well, I mean, again, also he did like charge her. Then at that point, he's like, "Well, give me that bat." And she's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, what it looked like to me was like he reaches out, she hits his hand, and it's like cowabunga. Just freaking knocks his ass out. I was like, I had to cheer.
I got to finish what I started.
Exactly. She was like, well, this is my opportunity. Like,
in for a penny, in for a pound.
I can imagine if it paused there after she hits the hand, a picture of her looking at him with a bat, and the Ultra Instinct team playing. I can imagine just like, and then just knock him out.
Oh man, that's perfect.
Oh man, but
can I just talk about how much I really did care about Halloran?
And how
I thought his
death
character.
Was so like
at first. Okay,
abrupt.
before we talk about his death, let's go back to when we first meet him, and he's just showing the wife around. Wendy, she's showing her around the kitchen and everything, and then of course
he's being an absolute Chad. Yeah,
and then he has this
nicest dude you ever met.
Oh man, he just seems he seems a little weird at first, but then you can tell it's just like his like kind of funny, quirky personality.
Right. I think much like. She had very 1980s horror movie woman kind of vibes. He definitely had like the textbook like 1980s horror movie black guy who's just really nice. It's just a pleasant like the hero of the film vibes from the beginning. That's why I was like, I love him already.
He's nice
his first line was him being like, "How's it going, Doc?" and like being nice to everybody. And I was like, oh, I love him already. He's just nothing but charisma, isn't he?
He's also like one of the first like genuine. Looking and sounding.
He doesn't sound like like I said. He's the first person that doesn't look insane.
The line delivery in this movie is almost it feels unnatural.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. The first interview, I was like, why is everyone nuts? Can you stop trying to sell me on this?
Right.
Like, it was...
Like, he's one of the only people that talks normal.
Like a normal... Him and the security guards in the office, they're like, yeah, we can I guess, try and radio him real quick.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else in the movie acts so weird, but they're like...
associated with the hotel other than him is a fucking nutcase.
It's just insane, yeah.
How sad, dude. But anyways, the only real probably jump scare of the movie that kind of got me was our guy, Halloran. I was expecting him to come up from behind. I keep wanting to say Johnny. His name's Jack.
Yeah, you can call him Johnny. We'll know who he is.
It works.
But then out of nowhere, out of frame right, there's like a pillar, and Jack swings the axe around and hits him right in the heart.
No remorse, like instantly kills this character that we love. Like the movie knows we love him, and they're not even gonna like let you get ready for him to die. They just kill him. Right. And I was like, oh, heartless, he's dead.
Oh, so bad. But then like as this is all happening, and like Jack is chasing Danny into the hedge maze and everything's going hysterically crazy. You have Wendy, who is running around the hotel trying to find her son, justifiably with a knife. But of course, she's a dainty lady, and so she's just running around like, oh, jeez.
The way she's holding the knife is so funny.
She's just kind of like just imagine putting your elbows like adjacent to your sides, but having your limp wrists running around. But it's like, oh no, where do I go?
All I could think of was like, didn't your parents tell you to not run with sharp objects? And she's like running with it in the most dangerous poke your eye out way. And I'm like, hold it away from you a little bit,
at least. But then she starts like running into some weird encounters of like,
god, she gets through that fucking house of horrors.
She saw the worst that anyone in this movie has seen and just kept running. She didn't have time to react. She just screamed again and then ran.
I'm amazed she wasn't insane by the time she walked out of the hotel.
For all we know, she might have been. She saw her son and was like, back to reality. And then for all she's probably nuts though.
Right. So again, the first thing that she sees is a very strange, a door is open in one of the rooms, and there is a guy laying down in a bed, and I thought that like he was like dead, hunched over the bed.
That's what it looks like. He's wearing like a teddy bear onesie with like no ass like the ass taken off.
Yeah, with the flap that go to the bathroom, it's just removed.
And then he like sits up, and you're like, okay, sentient teddy bear. And then the guy that he was laying on top of, I guess he was giving him top, like it looks like. He sits up too in the suit and's like, "What's you doing?" And I was like, how are?
Okay, bye.
But then I'm like, how are you doing that with the mask on? How does that work?
But then she runs away. But then it jump cuts.
I'm not gonna find out any more than that.
It jump cuts right to a very good close up of both of them, and he's still wearing the mask.
Exactly.
Like he's not. So there's no. It's just weird.
It's terrifying.
And I was like, and then of course after that happens,
they put that in there for funsies. Like,
probably so. But then it cuts to her, and she's obviously terrified, and is like running up the stairs or whatever. And at that point, I'm like, wait, what? Where are we? What am I watching?
That scene was the biggest left hook in the film. I was just like sitting there watching the movie, and then again accosted by all of that.
You want to talk about psychological horror? I'm going to, in the process, kill your favorite character by slamming an axe into his chest.
Watch a furry give a guy top.
Have the child run away. And then have bare ass out of nowhere.
Yeah, right? Get it, bare ass, but also like bare. All right, don't worry, I'll leave.
Oh, man. I'll show myself out.
Yeah, I'll stick.
Oh, man. Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, and then like the next thing she sees is like the biggest house of horrors, like a whole bunch of skeletons sitting in chairs and like hanging from the ceiling.
The entire room is full of cobwebs
and like webs. And I was like, where'd all that come from?
Yeah.
Probably ghosts. Who knows? Run away. Yep. Do what I would do. Wendy, I'm on your page. Scream, then run. In that order.
It's like, did you just stumble across like the left wing that you weren't allowed to go to? It's like, that's what it felt
Nobody
like.
told me about this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I don't know.
And then
crazy.
Scream first, run second, and then she moves on and sees something else again.
Right. The elevator full of blood.
Oh yeah. If we can say again, we've seen this shot, and I understand
4 or 5 times.
I understand why they probably used it so much, because it was probably expensive and hard to shoot.
Oh yeah.
So again, I think if you wanted to, I would probably want to use that shot more than once, because like it seems
they used it like 5 times, and each time didn't really feel reused too.
Right.
They animated some like tables and chairs over it to make it like different that time, and then like they animated like something else happening, and then this time was like the real time it was happening, and then also the next apparition she saw after that was homeboy Dilford or whatever.
Dilbert,
yeah.
Dilbert, yeah.
Dilbert, close
Brady.
But that was the next ghost she saw was him, and he was like, he said something to her. She screamed and ran again in that order.
Party, isn't it?
Exactly, screamed and ran in that order, appropriate.
Yikes!
So yeah, you were saying about the shot though,
dude. It's like whenever you see it, especially when it's happening in real time, whenever she's noticing it. If you haven't seen the shot that we're talking about, just imagine
Google how they shot that.
Just imagine that there is 2 elevator doors. The one on the left starts to slowly open, and whenever it does, you see this very dark red liquid. It is almost black. It looks like blood. It definitely looks like a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And it is like a dark, deep red liquid, and it's like shooting out from the sides, and then as the door is opening, it just comes flooding out, and it like a monsoon. Or is monsoon? What I don't know.
Yeah, that's a word. Yeah,
tsunami.
Tsunami. It just comes out like a tsunami. I mean, it floods over like a huge wave, and it like knocks like the end tables over and the chairs, and it starts moving shit around because it's just so much water. And of course, as it kind of thins out, you see how red it is, and it doesn't
look like that. I found out how they shot it. It doesn't look like that at all, though.
What's that?
It says the actual shooting of the blood elevator scene was, of course, an effects shot. Achieved decades before CGI would ever be an option.
Right.
The sequence was shot on a sound stage in miniature.
Oh, no way.
It doesn't look miniature at all, man.
Dude.
Oh, my gosh.
That's insane.
Okay, so
let's see,
the reason why it sounds insane is because it looks full-sized.
Yeah.
So whenever you're imagining this door opening, my thought is how much water did they have to put inside of an elevator? And then not only that,
God.
like how did they get the mechanics of it open?
Think of that.
It doesn't even look miniature at all. I'm looking at pics right now.
But I guess it also makes sense as to why like the tables and chairs kind of move around, I guess. But I mean, I guess it also looks like what normal water would do in like a hallway.
I'm trying to read another thing to
oh, that's so cool,
this.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fun.
It's
scary though. Watching an elevator full of blood just that's really weird.
I can't even count the number of unpleasant things in this film.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot, dude.
Like
amount.
Every time I think about even one scene, it just gives me the shivers.
Jack Nicholson.
So this one tells me that this is full size. So I'm gonna keep reading until I find one that says it's if it's miniature or not. Because Google just said it was miniature, but now something else said it wasn't. So
I mean,
I don't know.
I will say that Jack Nicholson did too good of a job
he's
with
phenomenal.
His he is.
It sounds like it was real. 200+ gallons of fake blood were needed for the iconic bloody elevator shot. What? That's what it's saying here. It seems like it might be. How long did it take?
We're gonna have to watch the commentary.
Oh, we gotta watch something.
This would be
from
unremarkable.
the horse's mouth.
Someone said numerous retakes got the difficult shot of blood pouring in the elevators in only 3 takes. This would be unremarkable to get it in 3 takes if it weren't for the fact that the shot took 9 days to set up.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I don't doubt it.
This is trivia on IMDb, so I do believe this one.
Right,
actually.
right.
All right.
Okay, damn.
It took 9 days to set up that shot. Oh yeah, you better. I'm telling you what. If nothing else, if it took that long to set up, I'd be like, boys, roll that thing one more time.
Yeah.
Right before the ending credits. Come on, let's go.
It said, "This is amazing." That's okay. I legitimately thought, random trivia again. Sorry. I legitimately thought that he was swinging the axe with too much efficiency, because I've only seen as a medic, I've only seen the fire department swing axes at doors once for training, and he was swinging it very appropriately, not like a serial killer.
Right.
He kept hitting the same spot a little bit too frequently, like he knows what he's doing. It says here, for the scene in which Jack breaks down the bathroom door, the props department built a door that could easily be broken. However, Jack Nicholson had worked as a volunteer fire marshal and tore it apart far too easily. The props were then forced to build a stronger door.
Nice.
I was like, he's the first door he cut through it like butter, and I was like, he knows what he's doing here.
Yeah.
So funny.
That's so great. Oh man,
can you imagine? You're
the props
in a burning building and Jack fucking Nicholson comes to save you.
I'm coming to get you. I was like, oh no.
Just like, oh God, just fucking leave me here.
I'm sorry, no.
I've seen this before. I know what you're gonna do.
Did you know, apparently also, Shelley Duvall considers this her hardest performance of her life?
Oh, I don't doubt
it. Yeah,
it.
not at all. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they expressed, her and Jack Nicholson expressed resentment against the reception of the film, feeling that critics and audiences credited Stanley Kubrick solely for the success and didn't acknowledge how well both of them did on their roles.
Oh,
which is 100% correct, by the way.
I will
they both
say.
Aced their roles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was them, I'd be like, yeah, sure, Kubrick's the guy. I didn't do anything.
I'm just chopped liver over here.
I didn't have to they made a stronger door for me.
Right, right. Yeah. I don't think you realize what I did here.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, though. I mean,
To get Jack Nicholson in the right agitated mood, he was fed only cheese sandwiches for 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Which he hates.
Nice.
It says that.
Oh, that's even why?
Jeez, talk about method acting.
The throwing around of the tennis ball inside the Overlook Hotel was Jack Nicholson's idea. The script originally only specified that Jack is not working. This is great trivia. I need to look up IMDb trivia more often.
He's not working. He's over here just like, yeah, just chucking a ball at the wall. You guys rolling? Because watch this. Yeah. Oh, man. Ugh. The crazy thing is, too, is I'm looking at this, and there is a 12-year age gap between Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall.
Huh.
That's crazy. Anyways, is there anything else you want to add to this before we wrap it up?
I mean, I'm just trying to confirm that it was 200-plus gallons of water on the thing.
Dude.
So I'll admit it was a good movie. I think everyone should watch it.
If it was full-size or miniature, I'm still impressed.
If it was miniature, it's impressive that they made it look not miniature. And if it was full-size, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of work that was.
Right, yeah. It paid off, though.
Just know I'm never going to go inside that elevator ever again. I don't trust the weight restrictions on that.
Right.
What is 200-plus gallons in pounds?
Right. So, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch more spooky stuff. We have another spooky movie coming.
Spooky month. What are we calling this? Spooktober on the aftermath.
Let's call it
Spooktober on the aftermath.
Spooky math. I don't know.
Spookter math.
Let's call it Graveyard Shift.
Graveyard Shift. Hell yeah.
That's what I work.
Oh. It's a subtle jab. We're hoping to have you
subtle jab.
Hold on.
Night shifter.
Hear me out.
God.
We're hoping to have Ethan on every episode of the Graveyard Shift.
Graveyard Shift.
Yeah,
that's right. I don't sleep on a good day, so I'm not gonna sleep here. It's for the week. Night shift. Yeah. Get out of here with that freaking day moon. All right.
God,
we moons out, goons out. That's me. Only work at night.
Wow.
All the fun stuff happens at night and all the partiers.
Well, okay, so we have...
Also, I'm off Sunday.
I'm not going to tell you...
Day.
Okay.
I'm not Sunday?
This Sunday, I'm off.
I'm not going to tell you
I took it off because it's daylight savings time. I don't want to work 13 hours.
Oh, it's daylight savings? Oh,
It is, yeah. It's daylight savings time, so I requested to take that vacation.
Nice.
And they approved it.
Cool.
So,
okay, anyways, we're not going to tell you all of the Graveyard Shift.
You're going to have to get spooked yourself.
In fact, let's not tell you anything.
Okay, I want to at least tell you one to get...
Not even that we watched The Shining today.
Guess what, guys? We're gonna watch The Shining.
we're gonna watch The Shining.
I never actually watched it, and this all was fake. I got you.
I hope we made it up well. Until next time.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I hope you are excited about the autumn season and all the spooky stuff as I am.
I'd be really more excited if it wasn't 85 degrees outside in the autumn season, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I'd be a lot happier if it was colder.
Anyways.
In the words of a Skyrim character, I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of mead. So,
oh man,
that's a wrap.
Anyways, if you're looking for us, you can find us on all the different pod-catching platforms. Just type in The Aftermath, and you should be able to find us. If you can't, then you can go to our Linktree /Ian Wolf, and you can find all of our links to get in touch with all of us there. But
if you can't, you're too weak.
Until next time,
wrecked.
See you.
Bye-bye.